This is video number 4 in Excel Module 3 in the Shelly Cashman book on Microsoft Office 365. We're on page 3-40, and we're going to insert a clustered column chart on a separate chart sheet using the recommended charts feature. So if you want to draw a chart, you have to figure out what you want to be in the chart first. And what we want is we want to have the months across the bottom. We don't want total. And we also want to have the expenses categories down here from bonus down through miscellaneous and all of these numbers over to, but not including column H. Now, we don't really need this, but you have to include it. So we're going to select everything from here over to here, from A3 to G3. Then we're going to go down here. We do non-adjacent selection. So go to A9, hold the control key down, click from bonuses across to column G, and then down to row 13. So when you're selecting data for a chart, Excel frequently gets confused if you don't select a rectangle, okay? Well, technically this is two rectangles, but when you stack them on top of one another, they form a rectangle. If what I had done instead was just selected this and then gone down here and selected this stuff and tried to make it into a chart, the odds are that Excel would not have drawn what I wanted. So when you're selecting the data for a chart, make sure you always select a rectangle, or if it's non-adjacent, make sure that when you stack them on top of one another, that they form a rectangle. So we're going to insert a chart. That's going to be on the Insert tab up here. And we've got our charts group right here, from here over to here. And we want to do a column chart. If they go up and down, it's right here. If they go up and down, Excel calls it a column chart. If they're horizontal, it calls it a bar chart, but they're basically the same thing. But we're going to have it recommend some possible charts for us based on the data. So it will give us several different types of charts here. You can click on the ones over here on the left and see what you like. But the one that they want us to select is the clustered column chart right here. Go ahead and click on that and then click on OK, and it will insert the chart for us. And the nice thing about Excel is when you select the data correctly, it does most of the work for you. You have to put in your own chart title and you can format it to your heart's content, but you get a pretty good looking chart right off the bat. So now we're on page 3-41. We have just selected the chart that they want us to select, and we need to move the chart. So we should have, with the chart selected, we'll have the chart design tab up here and the format tab. We want chart design, and we're going to move the chart. So click on move chart. We're going to move it to a new sheet, and we're going to call it expense chart sheet. Click on OK. And we have the chart on a sheet all by itself. Let's flip over to page 3-42, and we're going to insert a title. There's a placeholder up here for us right now. If you click on it once, you'll get a solid line around it. If you click on it a second time, you'll get a dotted line around it, and then you get the I-beam, and now you've got a little text editor there where the chart title goes, and you can type in whatever you want to, and backspace and delete, and you can also do some formatting. There's another way to do it. Just click on it once, get the solid line around it, and then just go up here and start typing in what you want. So we want 6-month projected expenses. Go ahead and hit enter when you're done, and it will replace the placeholder that was over here at the top of the chart. Now we want to select, I'm going to click off of it, then I'm going to click on it again to select the whole thing. The whole thing is selected when you've got the solid line around the outside, which I have right now. Don't click on it twice because then you'll get the dotted line. So I'm going to click off again, click on it once. Now I've got the solid line again. I want to go to the Home tab up here, and I want that to be underlined. We can format this text just like we would anything else. Click on the underline, and we get the underline under our chart title. Click any place off of the chart title. Now we're going to go down to the bottom of page 3-42. We're going to add some data labels. So we want to make sure the chart is selected. And we want to click the Chart Elements button, which is this plus sign up here. We want to go to Data Labels and click on the arrow over here to get some more options. If you pause the mouse over each one of these, you'll get a live preview. We want to choose Outside End. I think this makes the chart look a little bit cluttered, but that's what we want. So go ahead and click on Outside End, and now you've got the numbers. Some of these numbers don't look very good. We've got a black text on top of a dark purple background, and it's not all that easy to read. So click the Chart Elements button to close the gallery. So we'll just click right here and close it. And now we're on the bottom of page 3-43. Now we want to click the Chart Filters button. They use a funnel to indicate a filter. Go ahead and click on that. And in the series section, we want to click the bonus and salary checkboxes. So here's bonus and here's salary. So those will disappear. Click on the apply button down at the bottom. Now we've got 3 bars for each month instead of 5. Click the Chart Filters button to close the gallery. Click on that again and the gallery goes away. Now we're going to add an axis title to the chart. So we're going to click on the Chart Elements button again, and there's an option here for axis titles. If you click on the arrow next to it, you can get primary horizontal or primary vertical. We want primary vertical, so we're going to add something to the vertical axis over here. Notice that when it appears, it has a solid line around it. So if you see text with a solid line around it like that, you can just go up here to the formula bar, and on the formula bar you can type in what you want for the axis title. And all we want for an axis title is a $sign, so type a $sign and hit enter. Now we're going to right click the axis title to display a shortcut menu. So here's our shortcut menu. We want to choose Format Axis Title. We'll get a box that opens up over here on the right, and these can be a little confusing sometimes. We've got title options and we've got text options. And when I click on text options, so these are like 2 separate tabs or 2 separate sheets. And when I click on title options, I've got some options underneath that. And depending on which one of these icons I click on, my options below are going to change. The same thing applies to text options over here. I get these icons, and whichever one I click on determines what's going to appear for my options down below. So we want the title options tab, and we want the size and properties button right here. And if the alignment section is not expanded, click on the little arrow here next to it. We want to go to text direction, click on the down arrow here. We want horizontal, and notice it instantly changes this to a horizontal $sign instead of a vertical one. And then we can go ahead and we can close the Format Axis Title pane over here on the right. Now we're at the bottom of page 3-45. We're going to change the chart style. So we need to go to the Chart Design tab up here. Chart styles is everything from here all the way to over here. We want to choose style number 6. They're just numbered starting at 1. If you pause the mouse over it for a second, though, it'll tell you what it is. So go ahead and click. And by the way, it does do a live preview as you move across these. We want chart style 6. Go ahead and click on it. Now we're on the bottom of page 3-46. We're going to modify the chart axis number format. So these are the numbers over here. With numbers this big, you probably don't need 2 decimal places. So let's go ahead and right click on this, and we're going to get Format Axis. It'll open up this Format Axis window over here on the right side. We want the Axis Options tab, not the Text Options tab. So click on Axis Options. We want the number option down here, and we get some choices. We want the number of decimal places to be changed to 0. So click on that, back up over it, and type a 0 in its place. Go ahead and close this. And now the decimal places are gone. Now we're at the bottom of page 3-47. We're going to remove filters and data labels. So we're going to click on the Chart Elements button. We're going to click on Data Labels to turn that off. We're going to close the gallery. Now we're going to go to our Filters button. We're going to turn Bonus and Salary back on. Click on Apply. Go ahead and click on the Filter button again to close that. And your chart should now look exactly like the one at the bottom of page 3-47. And this is where we'll end this video. We'll pick up again on the next video on page 3-48, organizing the workbook.